Call to order June 20th, 2023 Board of Aldermen meeting. Please rise for the invocation and pledge allegiance.
Thank you, Father, for this day and your many blessings and the blessings yet to come. We ask you to look over us tonight, that we make the decision for the taxpayer of Long Beach, that we do it with the wisdom that you give us to do it with. We ask you to bless the first responders, also our military that's guarding us, and all of them's family, and all the employees of the city. For we ask in Jesus' name and for his sake. Amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, good evening. We're going to start off with the roll call. Patrick?
Present.
Pete? He is actually tied up with a court case and may be late or may not be here at all. He called earlier. Mikey?
Present.
Timmy?
Here.
Angie?
Here.
And Bernie?
Present.
Perfect. Seeing that we have a quorum. All right. Announcements, presentations, proclamations. I have one grant presentation with Centerpoint Energy. Chief? Come on up, gentlemen. Sorry. You're going to read off.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and do that there.
First of all, thank you for allowing us to come tonight. Centerpoint Energy has always been involved in our communities, and we have a grant program that we do for our first responders, and was able to nominate Long Beach Fire Department this year and get a grant for them. So the Community Partnership Grant Program offers opportunities for Centerpoint to invest in our cities that we serve. For over 145 years, we've partnered with communities supporting our shared commitment to safety while delivering reliable natural gas. Since 2003, the program has awarded more than $2.8 million in donations, funding to support 1,000+ projects in communities throughout our service territory. Through the grant program, we're able to help cities leverage local funds to to purchase needed safety equipment or support safety projects that are important to our communities. Tonight, we're pleased to present the City of Long Beach Fire Department with a Community Partnership Grant Program of $2,500 to be used for some thermal imaging camera. And I reached out to Chief Skelly a couple months ago and was able to talk with him, and we got the paperwork done and get all this taken care of for him so that we could help them purchase this new equipment.
Awesome. Thank you very much. We appreciate Centerpoint Energy's support within our city, so thank you, guys.
Get the actual check. I don't know if the bank would cash the other one.
Thank
Thank you, guys.
Look at
Yeah,
it, turn
you
it
can
over.
hand that over.
Flip on.
Okay, moving on, amendments to the municipal docket. I have two that I'd like to add under new business. We have a firework display contract that I'd like to add as number 19 under new business, if I could get a motion. All right. And then second one I have is a resolution with Harrison County with Supervisor Marlon Ladner regarding the widening of South Mitchell Road.
Motion.
Second.
All right, motion and a second. So those will be 19 and 20. Do I have any other?
I have an amendment under new business 12, property and sales tax exemption, Revival Properties, LB 112, LLC. I think we need to pull that due to incomplete application.
There's also some language, if I may, board members, in the agreement that needs to be amended that I've looked at today.
So we can pull it for a completed,
Incomplete.
incompleted application and contract language. Do I have a motion and a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second, all right. We'll strike from 12. All right, do I have any others? Okay. Moving on, approval of minutes, Mayor and Board of Aldermen, June 6, 2023. Regular and executive, sorry. Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So we took care of. I need a motion for minutes for June 15th, 2023 work session, and that was regarding the harbor.
Motion.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to number 2, Planning and Development Commission, June 8th, 2023.
Second.
Have a
Discussion.
motion and a second with discussion? Okay.
Mr. Gant.
Charlie, if you don't mind, just a question coming up about the bond, the warranty, the 4-year warranty bond. Can you just let me know about that one, sir?
They couldn't place a bond except for 3 years maximum
Okay.
on a warranty bond. And they said, let the 3 run, they'll write another one for 1. They put a letter in there to that effect. Said, hey, if they don't have it, file against the bond. So that's what we'll do, and that's what I'll do.
Okay. So,
And David, you're good with that?
That seems to
He
make
tried to
sense.
write it before, but they called me and said he couldn't do it. That's why I made him
Okay.
put it in the letter for him too.
perfect. Perfect.
We need a motion to approve the minutes with
with
that
that-
stipulation.
With the stipulation of the 3 years, 3-year bond, okay, and
Plus a
the,
letter for 1, and they'll place it right after the fact.
Thank you.
Anything else?
no, sir, thank you very much for that.
Motion. Second.
Motion and a second with the amendment for the 3-year with the addition of a 1-year bond. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, moving on, approved docket of claims number 062023. Have a motion?
Second.
Have a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, unfinished business, number 1, relocation of drain pipe request with Ms. Mary Levens. I have a letter here that Ms. Levens has requested to forego the subdivision of her parcel, withdrawing her request to relocate this drain pipe. But being that she's not splitting these properties, she's asking to have the second tap fee refunded back to her.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? So basically, we're not splitting the property, so that second tap fee wouldn't be required. All right, seeing no more discussion, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. That's you, that's yours, right? I'm sorry. Okay. Speed limits, Alderman Parker?
I'd like to table that till the next meeting.
Okay,
Got a few other things to look at.
all right, I have a request to table. Do I have a second? I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay, under new business, planning commission appointments, that was in your packet. I'm gonna go ahead and, read them off just for, these are the existing, okay, do you have the updated? Sorry, guys, give me 1 second. Who was it? Four. Got it. Yep. Sawyer and. Okay, so, the mayor is reappointing Sean Barlow And Mr. Frank Oliver. At large is reappointing Mr. William Sudoff. Ward 1 is reappointing Chris Fields. Ward 2 is reappointing Ms. Marcia, is it Cruz? Cruz. Okay, sorry. Ward 3 is reappointing Ms. Jennifer Glenn. Ward 4, we have a change from Mr. Walters to Mr. Nicholas Brown. Ward 5 is reappointing Michael Levins. Ward 6 is replacing Justin Shaw with Mr. David DeLorenzo. If I could have a motion.
So move.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Library Board appointment, Ms. Diane Johnson.
Motion.
I have
Second.
a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, number 3, Civil Service Board. There's a letter in your packet here where unfortunately, Mr. David Bass is having to formally resign from the Long Beach Civil Service due to health and personal reasons. With that, the mayor has reached out and asked that the board consider appointing Ms. Linda Atterbury Shower.
So move.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, I would like to add that we do send our prayers to Mr. David Bass, and we do thank him for his service. He's been a great help for, over the years that he served. Seeing no other discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. There you go, ma'am. All right. Number 4, we have the purchase and sales agreement with Stage Line Mobile Stage, Inc. We do have this contract, but after speaking to legal, there's going to be some changes that we need to make. If you
I
want
would ask the board to consider tabling this. There's some language regarding binding arbitration and indemnity, which is not allowed for the city to agree to. I need to reach out to them and strike that contract language.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, and just adding that this company is out of Canada. So I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. On 5, 6, and 7, do we take them all as one, or do we individually? Let's just do it individually. Number 5, subaward agreement modification for the MDEQ critical drainage improvements.
So move.
I have a motion and a second. The discussion on this is, it's just, what we're approving here on all 3 of these is adding language, needing to add language in these contracts. So I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 6, subaward agreement modification for MDEQ for 2021 sewer investment and rehab.
So move.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 7, subaward agreement for modification for MDEQ for 2022 sewer investigation and rehab.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? None? All right. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, moving on. Number 8, water bill issue, Mr. Randy and Rebecca Newland. Mr. Randy, would you like to come up and to the podium here and introduce yourself and explain what you have, sir? Mike, can you help this gentleman, please? Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, Mr. Randy, if you could state your name for the record and your address, and then you can explain to us what you have going on here, sir.
Randy Newland. We're on 205 South Lang Avenue.
Perfect, thank you. Go ahead, sir.
The issue that I wanted to bring at hand is that we have 2 lots and we merged them as 1 lot. And so that, you know, that we could put a garage on it. Because if you had them separated and you wanted to put a building on that lot, then in 6 months you had to start construction on a house. So we wasn't going to do that. So we had the property line removed and made it all one property and everything. So we built a shop garage on that property. And I've got water from our main property, the water supply. We tapped onto that. We was going to tap onto the sewer line, but after we looked at some of the grades, it actually wasn't enough fall to, you know, tie into the existing sewer line of our house. So they said, well, you know, you can go to the other sewer line, but you're going to have to pay $500 for a tap-on fee. I said, okay, that's fine. I can live with that. But at no time, my issue is that anybody in the building department, the public works department, nobody said, now when you tap onto that line, I want you to understand that you also pick up a second fee for the trash and for all these expenses that you have for your home. You know, because if that would have been explained to me up front, I wouldn't have tapped on. I just simply went out in front of the building and put a pump box and pumped it right over into my line at the house and the end of the story. That's what you can do. I've done it many times. You know, I don't think it's fair, number one. I think that you use the word things need to have language changed. I think there needs to be some language changed and presentation on this issue, because if there's other people getting the same things done to them and they don't want to say anything, basically what it is, you're taking advantage of us. And that's not the purpose. You know, we're here because we want to be here, not because we have to be here, you know. And the building that I built on that corner, I had a yard sale last weekend. The only thing yard sales are really good for is meeting all your neighbors you don't know, you know. And we had a lot of compliments on how we finished that building, how it blends in with the community. We did that on purpose, you know. It looks like a house, but it is a shop and it is a garage. Now, I've had our representative Patrick there. He's been through it, talked to him. I've also had you, Donald, there, looked at it. And, you know, they say, well, you got a kitchen in it, and you got this in it, you know, and you live in there. Ain't nobody living there. It's very obvious. You saw it with your own eyes that that's not happening. There's no intention for that. But as it stands right now, you've qualified us for, you're charging us for a residence. Exactly what you're doing. And I just think that's, you know, unfair. The only thing you all allow here in Long Beach, and there's people doing it all the time, there was one just sold down on Lang Avenue right below us. They built a garage. They got water in there. They got restrooms and water. They tapped onto their own sewer line, but it's separate. But above it, it has a full room that could be turned into whatever, an apartment, whatever you want to do. Sometimes you know about it, sometimes you don't. You know, around here you use the term mother-in-law suites. You know, when we built this building, and Mike, the inspector, can verify this, the building is built and inspected as if I wanted to do something with that building, I had the potential to do so. And that's only good business if anybody builds a building, you know, to look for the future. And the future says that helps the value of that property. And that's why we do those things. I've done it in Virginia, where we come from.
My dad was a builder, and it's just one of the things that you standardly do. You wouldn't want to go build a building like that and just put some receptacles in it and some lights. It'd be a little tough to go back, you know, when the walls are closed up. So we did it right. It was inspected fully by the department. Everything passed. We didn't do anything shady. We used some of the best electricians, plumbers you got in this area, you know, and we're proud of the building. I just don't like to be taken advantage of, you know. And the other thing is, it says that it's all kosher. If we wanted to have a mother-in-law suite, we could, because other people have got mother-in-law suites, you know. I think your all's point of view is that mother-in-law suite might be okay, but you don't just want to turn around and just start renting it out to any old body, you know, and say to the public. I don't think that's what your program's designed for. I think it's just for what it says.
Right, and our ordinance is one house per property, so like with Airbnbs, it's supposed to be, if you have, you're not supposed to be able to rent out a second dwelling on your property too, like if you were gonna do a
I'm not doing that.
Airbnb or whatever. You know, I know, I'm just saying that.
I understand that totally. I understand your
Right, I was
perspective.
agreeing with what you're not allowed to have like two dwellings on one property.
It's not two dwellings on that property.
Right,
I can solve the problem, okay? I don't want to. I can put the property line back tomorrow.
right.
All
Yeah,
do-
and I wasn't,
all
I
do is
wasn't
come to the
saying,
alder. All I do is come before you aldermen.
Right.
With the proposal, you know, that's where we had to come to, you know, to vacate it.
right, and I wasn't saying that you did, because I did go, and there was obviously nobody living. I was just agreeing that you can't have,
And I
think-
agree.
well,
I
right.
agree with that.
Yeah.
We have the same thing in Virginia. There's no
Right.
difference,
Yep,
you know? But, down here, you know, we're living at the beach, guys.
right,
You know, and I didn't come up with the terms, you all did.
Right.
About mother-in-law suites.
And
Yeah, I got a
speaking-
mother-in-law sitting in Virginia, she'd like to come on down here. I told her, no, you ain't coming down here, they don't want you. You know, I don't know if I agree or disagree with that, but here and there, I had her down here for a couple of months. It was time for her to go back though. But,
and it is my understanding from
Okay.
talking to the water department that if you do have two dwellings on one property, that they are supposed to
That's what I want to
from
get.
separate
right,
water
understand.
lines. Is that correct, Mike?
Yeah, can you kind of,
Say that one more time?
If you have two dwellings on a property, they are supposed to be separate water hookups,
I
correct?
understand that. That's not what we're talking about here.
yeah, Mr. Randy, give us just 1 second. We want, what Patrick's asking right now is, what the definition is from Mike. So just bear with us 1 second. He's asking Mike a question real quick.
His statement was if you have two separate dwellings on one piece of property, you have to pay two separate water bills, and that's what the ordinance says.
Okay.
What you just said, you have to have two, that's what
Correct.
you just asked.
And now what
Yes.
classify, like the second, like the difference between a dwelling and a garage, is there a difference between,
That livable space,
okay.
is that what you're
We
asking?
worked on that a few years ago, if you remember. We had a few people with sheds that they were renting out. And that's where the issue came up, where we had to have them separate their water and sewer bills,
Okay,
because they were legit renting them out.
so if it is not rented out,
But it still has a possibility.
I'm
Right,
not
okay,
allowing
that's-
that.
that's-
There's no way for us to tell if
that's
it's
kind of
being
my
rented or not.
question.
I mean,
The
I
bottom
understand
line
where
is,
you're coming
with this
from.
whole thing, I understand what Mike's saying. I've understood that from the get-go. That's not what I'm talking about here. It's not two residents on the same property. There is a garage shop on that building. You can come over anytime you want to look. If you want to do some work, I'll help you out. But the bottom line is this. These places around in this area, they do allow mother-in-law suites on the same property. It's not renting it out. Yeah, you want to charge your mother-in-law, that's your business. But, you know, that's not the intent, I think, of the ordinance. I do understand totally, that's an exception by itself. Once you step out of that zone and you start renting it for money, now we have two residents on the same property, it ain't gonna fly. I agree with that. That's not what I'm discussing here tonight, you know?
Mr. Randy, give me 1 second, one more second. Mike?
There were existing mother-in-law suites within the city limits before this ordinance was put into effect.
Okay.
So there are spots where there are two water bills going to them. Anything that's built under my tenure since I've been here has to be connected. There are no mother-in-law suites that are new, that are not connected to the residence
To the
itself.
main residence.
Yes, we've had 2, maybe 3 of those built since I've been here, and we've had to make them connect, so they're not.
Have to
they're not
physically, the roof line has to
yes.
technically
Have a
touch.
breezeway or something connected.
I got, is that in writing somewhere?
Mike, is that
I
in?
don't think it's in writing, but that's, if you
No,
want
it's
to
not.
build,
It's, again, that's the thing here with language, it's not in writing. I've looked at the things, it's not in writing. It's just, okay, I say this is what you gotta do.
you can't have a mother-in-law suite, which in my definition, a mother-in-law suite is a separate structure on the same property. And you can't have 2 livable structures on one piece of property.
And that's from Building Code 2018, or?
Building codes of
We'll go with
2018.
that.
Okay.
I'd like to have a better explanation, something that's logical. But why you think you gotta have the 2 buildings connected? It's on the same property, you know, and everything. What's the significance? You know, my neighbor across the street, they put a carport up. They got the house there. It's 4 feet from the carport to the house, which goes nowhere. So to confide in the rule, they had to put a little 4-foot roof in just to say that it's connected. It has no purpose.
That was an
Has no
accessory
purpose.
structure, had to be connected to the house because it was not more than 10 feet away. And the only way to get around
Due to
it was for them
setbacks.
to connect it, and that's
Okay.
what they did.
So if it's more than 10 feet away, you cannot connect it with
So
a,
you have to, when you do an accessory structure, it has to be 10 feet away from any other structure.
okay.
So the
Okay.
other people before Mike come around didn't have to do that.
Well, from what we're hearing is that there's an ordinance change.
And where, is that in writing though? That's my whole point. This is what you think it should be done.
Okay, that's fair enough.
There's an ordinance,
About the dwelling.
With y'all and say, here it is.
there's an
Anyway,
ordinance, yeah, and it's been in
My whole
writing
point
for
of view is,
years. Rodney
want to do,
Fortenberry did it behind
I
his
don't agree
house,
with
and
it.
it's connected. Mike wasn't
Bear,
even
bear,
alone.
bear with me one second, Mr. Randy. I want to make sure that I'm getting everybody's input, and I understand that you're having difficulty seeing, so that's why I keep stopping you. So I want to make sure you're getting your fair due here. Mr. Attorney, do you have any opinion on this?
I don't. I'm being told there is an ordinance that addresses it. With all the different things we've talked about, I'm not sure the board is completely clear what the gentleman is asking for. Mr. Newland, what relief is it you're asking for? You're already paying for the water out to this garage type or
I am
shop,
not.
right?
I'm paying for it on my house. That water is coming, from that garage is coming from my main line to my house.
So what is it you're objecting to paying for is what I'm trying to
I don't
understand.
think I should pay $80 because I tapped onto the sewer line, and it's the same sewer line runs along my property, along the side street and down the front. When I was told, you know, you could tap on, nobody, and this is where I'm having a problem with this. Y'all do what you want to do. That means am I happy or unhappy?
I understand,
Okay?
but you're.
We're just,
I don't think I should have to pay another $80, and nobody explained. That's the problem here. Put it in writing. Nobody said if you tap on, you're gonna have to pay another $80. Well, they didn't say that. Mike didn't say it, and neither did the Public Works. And if you do, oh my, I'm not even gonna go there. But that's where I feel like I'm being taken right now. And first of all, the bathroom that's in that building gets used very seldom.
I understand,
So-
but so,
That's all I'm talking about.
so that the board understands, you object
to the
to
second.
paying the sewer and the trash, I guess. You're paying for that on your bill as well?
Correct.
I'm asking
It's
you.
all one bill, sir.
Okay, I get that, but I want to know, they want to know what it is you're objecting to. You're objecting to,
I'm objecting to the bill. The bill, $80, so you get all you just said. It's like a package deal. You get trash, you get water, you get sewer and all that. I don't have all that. Okay, I paid $500 to tap onto that sewer line. You didn't give me nothing. I paid for it. But nobody said, in essence, that you're gonna have to pay another $80 every month just because you tapped onto it. I'm telling you, if you'd have told me that in the beginning, and Mike would've told me that in the beginning, I'd have put a box out front and I'd have pumped it right over there. There's nothing you can do about it.
If you,
Okay, so, Mr. Randy, I appreciate your time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to now let you sit back down, and I'm going to ask the board how they feel about it and what procedure they want to take from here. So, thank you.
You're welcome.
Council, can we
as far as breaking his bill up, and I'm asking this, maybe
There's
Keeney.
2 bills, so he's getting one for his house and one for his.
Even though, and let me just
I understand what y'all are saying.
All right.
But on that one bill, you have water, you have sewage, and you have trash pickup. He's not using the water, and he's not using the trash pickup from that structure. Can we legally break that up? Or do we know this?
You know, once he elected to pay a tap fee and tap into the sewer line, I don't know how you can waive the fee that goes along with, the tap is just to connect. Then there's a fee for discharging and treating the gray water and black water.
I understand
I don't know how you
that.
can waive that.
No, I'm not saying to waive that. I'm saying to try to, can we break it up to where we can waive the garbage pickup for that structure and the water pickup for that structure? Because am I correct, is it broke down, Mike, Joe?
It's not. It's all one fee.
There's no,
I hate to say against what council said, but I believe there's places that are in the county or in other places that are just paying a sewer bill or just paying a water bill. So I believe that it can. But I'd lean on to Jamie in the building department to be able to answer that.
okay, I'd like to make a motion that we table this until we find out if we can break it down.
I agree, but I also think we need to look into whether it's a livable structure. Because I remember when we redid this ordinance, if it was a livable structure on the same piece of property, you received 2 separate bills.
I'm not saying that he still can't receive a sewage, a wastewater bill, but if he's not using that water and he's not putting a trash can out beside this extra structure, why are we charging him for it? My opinion.
All right, so I have a motion on the,
Second.
I have a second. So can you repeat your motion one more time for me,
I want
please?
to
sir?
table it until we find out if we can break the bill back up, or break the bill up, and then we'll bring it back on the next agenda.
Did you want to add Timmy's question to it?
As far
I think
as,
we need to look into, yes, whether it's a livable structure ordinance-wise.
What's the definition and
And
where,
then-
where that comes from?
Yes.
And if we
in the
need to
meantime, Mike, can you
update-
find the ordinance
The
for us?
ordinance.
Thank you.
Okay, so I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
Just if we need to update it to where when people do pot, like, they are aware that if they do tap on, that they will have to pay, you know. If it's not in writing somewhere in
Gotcha.
our
Okay.
ordinances, it needs to be.
Yes, sir. So I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, Mr. Randy, what we're going to do is we're going to get you some answers on this that we don't have tonight. It will be at the next meeting, which is, what's the date?
July
The 5th of July. Okay. All right. Number 9, moving on, generator maintenance. Sir?
It'll be at the next meeting when we'll discuss it again.
We'll be able to get you your answers on the July 5th.
Yes, you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You'll be on the agenda.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, moving on. Generator maintenance agreement with Taylor Sudden Service. I have a motion.
Second.
Second, and in this, it's the 2 fire departments, the police station, and City Hall. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Discussion.
Yes, sir.
Bob, or is this, you don't fall under this agreement?
Oh, we're still under warranty on
Still under warranty. Once it expires, we'll put you under this agreement.
Correct, yeah.
Yes, I had that question for Keeney earlier. Okay, number 10, oh, I'm sorry. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving down to number 10, grant agreement for HUD Gateway Harbor Funds. This is, go ahead, I'm sorry. I have a motion
Second.
and a second. This is the 4.3 million that was basically got from
I got it.
Stephen Palazzo through the Gateway Program. This is our agreement with HUD to start moving forward on that one.
Right.
Okay, seeing no more discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, number 11, moving on, host agency agreement, senior community service employment program for 2023, 2024. Okay, motion?
Second.
Second. Okay, I was waiting for the motion before I explained. So this is a program that we've done for the past several years, correct, Bob?
Yeah.
If you need to add anything, please let me know.
I will.
This is for seniors with a training program. I believe, if I'm correct, Bob, we have one working in the kitchen?
Yes.
Okay. At our senior center.
Okay.
Any discussion? All right, seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 13 comes back to what we approved in number 10, professional service agreements with Christian Prius Landscape Architect. He helped design the original gateway. This will help with the design aspect of what we will be doing down in the harbor there. Have a motion?
Discussion.
Need a
Second with
for-
discussion.
Second with discussion.
So
Go ahead,
this
sir.
is, we're kind of in phase one of this gateway project. Am I correct with the signage and everything?
We are still basically in the design.
Are you talking about the current project that's going on?
Correct.
That's a different pot of money than
We-
this.
For a lack of terms, we've called all of this the Gateway Project.
Okay.
But
So,
the original gateway is the signage that you see out in the outer edges of the harbor, the pillars.
that's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the original. This is not what that is.
Okay.
We don't have any lighthouses or anything like that. The signage,
Okay.
welcome to Long Beach. This is the 4.3 million that will do the design of the parking area, the areas by parishes,
Okay.
what else? There, Yacht Club and Steve's.
Okay.
Does that answer it? Okay. Any more discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, moving on. Number 14, portable electrical signs, Alderman Brown.
So after Katrina, the city purchased two, I guess they're diesel-powered, gas-powered.
I think they're diesel.
Electronic signs that we used, and due to a better word, we didn't have anywhere to store them, and they weren't after, whatever, 18 years. We have an opportunity here with the stage coming, and I know Mr. Bennett I think, has given us enough money to purchase a pole barn, and we have enough opportunity here to make room for two electronic signs. And when I talk about this, we have a major project we getting ready to start right here at Pineville and Railroad Street that we could have the signs up for 2 or 3 weeks right now saying this is going to be a detour. We have Cruising the Coast, we have Jeeping the Coast, that we really could use these signs. And I'm just asking the board right now maybe to lean. I got with the police chief, and he's in a conference this week, and he kind of got some roundabout figures, but I'd like to explore a little bit more in depth and get some real figures on what this would, to purchase two of these. And my question, I'm going back to Katrina. There used to be a Katrina fund left over. Is that still, or did we roll it to the general fund?
General fund.
No, there's still money left in that.
That we could purchase out of that if we needed to?
Y'all approved it.
Yes.
Can you, I guess my discussion would be, can we make sure that none of that money that we go in there and spend isn't already earmarked on something else?
Right. That's what I'm saying, but I just want to kind of get.
No, I think this is a great idea.
Kind of.
Won't you have to get bids on the signs?
I asked the chief about if they were under a state contract, and he never got back to me.
Okay.
Which is, I think he put them out, and I would think.
500 now.
In
Run
that,
into
Chief,
that problem with
you think they should be on state contract?
They may be on state contract, but as long as we go by, state procurement rules, $7,500, if it's over $7,500, we'll have to have several.
And I would imagine there is a state contract already with the sign company.
Probably so.
Well, what the roundabout figure we're getting right now is anywhere from 15 to 25,000 apiece.
Right.
I think you're gonna have to bid.
Well, I mean, that's just a rough ballpark figure, because you gotta remember, these are electronic signs and they run, they'll be running 24/7 if we need them. So, something I'd just like to, pursue if y'all are
Yeah.
willing.
I agree.
Okay.
That's all.
So-
There's no need to be no motion.
No motion? Okay, perfect. You gonna just bring that back to us at a later date? Perfect. All right, moving on, number 15, Go Mesa application authorization.
So move.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? So what this is this is our Go Mesa applications. We met with Representative Bennett, kind of getting some ideas. What we were looking at applying for on this would be supplemental money for the harbor as far as our actual piers, whether they be concrete pilings, or, is that what we ended up with, Patrick?
Yes.
Okay, so that's just kind of where we're going with those applications. The biggest thing that was stressed to us, that it's inputted into the portal, so. Any other discussion? So, do I have I already have a motion, right? Motion and second, all right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now our next topic, Hurricane Zeta FEMA appeal. So we had our work session last Thursday, and we had our discussions. Couldn't take any action there, so,
Why don't you explain to the public what FEMA?
so, okay. So quick explanation is what, after 2.5 years of back and forth with FEMA, and Chief, jump in here at any point in time, doing surveys, doing on-site visits, making visits to DC with FEMA, redoing our applications multiple times, we were given an offer of $2.3 million.
Let me just say that I spoke to representatives from other cities today. One of our neighboring cities is actually in an appeal process with FEMA because of their harbor also. So we're not the only one in this situation, just so y'all understand that. We have Mike Penny with Andercor. After our work session last week, went to work and started looking into some other issues that we had with FEMA, and he went back and looked at all of our emails and what have you, and found where at one time when the knee wall was not in this bundled project, that they were fixing, they had put a number on that wall of $2.6 million just for the repairs of that wall. And then they talked us into going with this large project, this massive project, and now they want to give us $39,000 for that wall. So there's no rhyme or reason for it. We can't figure it out. As far as we're concerned, feel like we're getting yanked around on it. The city's getting yanked around. I was advised earlier later in last week after we had our work session that we can do an appeal and also a arbitration at the same time. And when we do the arbitration, you'll be dealing with a different group in FEMA. It won't be the same group.
So,
Just to be, give everybody an idea of what we have so far, and I know we talked about it in the work session, and we've talked about it before. Outside of the FEMA money, we have procured around $18 million for the harbor at this point through GCRF money, Gulf Coast Restoration Fund, Go Mesa, and Tidelands. So we do have a decent chunk, specifically enough money to basically handle kind of the outside of the harbor. So kind of what we're fighting with FEMA mainly about is the interior of the harbor, and that, this appeal process, from what they spoke about in the work session, could take, I know we have 60 days to respond and appeal.
They have 90 days to respond
Then they have
after
90
that,
days to
but they can ask for
respond.
more.
And then obviously if we choose, or go ahead and go through, while appealing, go through the arbitration. So that's just to give you a little bit of a timeline, and that's your initial appeal going into, and then the caveat to that is we are on a timeline. FEMA is not necessarily ever going to be on a timeline. They can kind of do what they want. You're kind of at their beck and call. Just to be clear, they kind of make the rules, and there's really not a whole bunch of control we have over their timeline.
So just to add to a couple things, in that money that you were discussing, those monies were granted to us for specific issues.
Specific
I
things.
just want to make sure that that's very clear.
So those monies are earmarked, like Donald's saying, they're earmarked for specific bulkheads, whether it's the southeast bulkhead or whatever project. Those funds and those monies are specifically earmarked for they're already, going towards a specific project. And,
Correct.
The FEMA, that's a different.
And that involves the inner part of our peers and so on. So to add to that information, basically what we discussed is the first level of appeal being that we're questioning, the accuracy of materials, quantities, costs from FEMA, the estimated repair of this harbor. The discussion came up of, did they use accurate pricing as lumber, marine grade lumber? Is that the correct wordage that we used, Mike? Okay, thank you.
That's correct.
As opposed to,
Dimensional lumber, pressure-treated lumber, that's correct.
exactly.
Put it bluntly, the 2.3, it's almost it's laughable. We're turning in that we have $11 billion worth of damage caused by Hurricane Zeta, and just to give people an example, FEMA is asking us to prove that. So if you go look at the harbor, obviously everything is tied together. They're asking us to basically individually prove that each piling was damaged by Zeta and not a storm 5 years. So it's setting the precedent, or our city's going to have to annually inspect pilings, which they won't even give us a justification of how we should inspect the pilings. We did integrity tests on a lot of the pilings, and basically they even came back and said, well, that's not good enough, and I don't want to speak, wrong, but didn't they said that's not a suitable
Method. Right.
But then they do not offer us a method to even be able to test
Test it.
the pilings. So it's kind of, FEMA, a lot of the things that they're asking and have asked in the past, even with insurance, you can't insure a harbor. We ran in the situation with the harbor guard facility and
Harbor
stuff.
master building.
They want us to have specific insurance that it's not even a possibility to, you legally can't even get insurance on these things. So I just want to make it clear that FEMA, it's just been a mess. And dealing with them, it's just been awful. And there's not a lot of rhyme and reason to anything that they have done or continue to do.
So basically,
Look, Mike.
Penny.
Yes, Mike Penny. Penny?
yes.
Okay. So we can, on the appeal process, and we do the arbitration, if we as a board vote to move forward, do we need a work session with you guys, or are we just rocking and rolling with it?
I think we rock and roll.
Okay,
We're gonna move forward
okay.
and base.
I'd like to make a motion, we move forward with the appeal process.
Can I make a question, please, for Mike? The arbitration, I'm unfamiliar with what FEMA is suggesting of what their rules and regs allow. This is non-binding arbitration, right? Because there's no need in doing an appeal if we get into a binding arbitration hearing.
Right, this is, as far as I know, it's non-binding.
The steps are appeal, first appeal, second appeal, and then arbitration if you can't come to a.
Okay, I misunderstood and thought you were talking about doing them at the same time, and I,
We can request arbitration immediately along with the first appeal. It's a bit of a shortcut, and I'm not sure it's an exact arbitration. I think it's a panel of,
it is, but okay. That answers my question. We're fine.
That was in my motion.
The motion was to first appeal and arbitration
Arbitration at the
simultaneously.
same time.
Okay.
Okay. So I have one last bit of discussion on this, just to make it very clear. When we do appeal this, even if we agree on certain items, there can still not be any construction within the inner harbor itself. So I just want to make sure that's very clear to the public. You know, I know the board's aware of that, so.
So David, before we do this, I know you've been working on the rest of the east wall, which is Go Mesa money, correct? Or, no, restoration or is Go Mesa money?
There's to go Mesa and Tide.
Go Mesa.
Go Mesa.
So, and Tideland, so can you, and I know you've been working on the inner wall. Can we put all of our effort on the east wall now, since we can go ahead and finish it and release contract, release bid on it, and be working on it while we're appealing?
David and I, not to step on his toes, but we did discuss that earlier this.
We're good with,
We'll, like you said, we've been working towards east and inner. We'll redirect and just really focus in on east wall and get that ready to go out on the street. That's what our focus will be.
And just so that's clear to everybody, we can begin some aspects of the harbor, the outer wall, but while we're
Appealing.
arbitrating and dealing with FEMA, we cannot go in and move. If we go and pull pilings, they could just say, we're not talking to you about the pilot, that's done. You moved them, can't prove anything, and we'd be,
And we have
you know.
released a contract
On
and
the
have
corner.
work ready to start any time on the east wall.
All right, any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries to appeal the decision. Okay. Number 17, we're going to be moving on. Right-of-way acquisition, and I apologize, I'm going to say with the family. This is part of the right-of-way acquisitions for the widening of Commission and Klondike Road. If I could get a motion and a second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 18, change order for Mount Bass Drainage, bottom to top construction.
So moved.
I have a motion.
Discussion.
Discussion.
I'd like to hear a little of it.
How are you this evening?
I'm doing well. I'm Anthony Greer. I'm a Pickering farmer.
Okay, Anthony? So Anthony, can you explain to us what we have going on with this? This is the third change order, correct?
That is correct.
Okay,
If y'all don't mind, I'm gonna bring y'all up.
sure.
We've got one ditch that goes to an outfall. That is a main ditch, referred to it as main ditch in the narrative. And it's designed right now to be an earthen ditch where it leaves Alexander, it goes under Alexander, and goes down toward Charleswood. It goes underneath Charleswood and into the outfall, and it's piped in that section.
So it's a ditch south of Mount Bass, on the south side.
Southwest.
And y'all have to forgive me,
Yeah.
I just got on this project, I'm fixing, but that ditch is designed to be about 5 to 6 foot deep, with 1 side slopes and 1.5 foot width, on the bottom. So it's a deep, steep ditch. Contractor got in there and started digging that, and the soil conditions are horrible. It's just pretty much running sand, side slopes, don't want to stay up. So we started looking at that with them, and they moved on to the ditches along, Alexander, and started doing some widening and deepening on those, and started running into, sewer and water service conflict. The water services aren't an issue, the sewer services are shallow and they're old clay pipe. So what we're looking at doing to remedy that is, so the ditch is not gonna work. So what we can do is go under those services with pipe. So there's a cost difference, of course, with doing the pipe, versus the ditch, a little bit of offset with the ditch work as far as the earth work. So what Bottom to Top did was they looked at the changes that it would take for that, as well as, rather than having that deep, steep-sided ditch between Charleswood and Alexander, going ahead and piping that, like the area down that goes underneath Charleswood is done. The idea was to try to put pipe back where pipe was and ditch back where ditch was. But that ditch is going about another 3 to 4 foot deeper, and it's literally edge to edge on the easement. I got David and Joe to meet out there with us when these things really started kind of coming to fruition, and we looked at it, and one of the issues with the deep ditch, with those side slopes, is that it'd be very difficult, extremely difficult for Public Works to maintain that. We talked about riprap, we talked about sheet pile, different options. We looked at plastic pipe instead of the reinforced concrete arch pipe. Big pipe, plastic pipe, with not a lot of cover, has a tendency to float out of the ground. So when you start looking at what it takes to hold it down, 2 pieces of it, because they don't make arch pipe and plastic pipe, it just got cost prohibitive. So the best measure was to continue the RCAP pipe through that ditch section. When it's done, there'll be a couple of yard inlets to keep surface water contained. Maintenance-wise, all they'll have to do is cut the grass through there.
Joe,
Okay.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Is this where we had talked about once before off of Alexander, going back through to the, retention pond back there?
Yes.
Is that the same route?
Yes, sir. It's the same thing. This is the change order that is, and it also has a big deduct, doesn't it, Anthony?
It does, yes.
Okay. We looked at this project. It was almost double in price for the original change order. I took a lot of some of this stuff down Alexander out of the project, things that I thought we could open ditch and use to get this price cut in half. I think one of the main points of this project too is we've already spent $200,000 or $300,000, and we're getting reimbursed 100% from the city. If we don't go forward with this, we may not even get that money reimbursed. Is that right, Kenny?
It's not reimbursed 100%, it's 80/20.
80/20, I'm sorry.
I will say, I've been looking at this project, and as a contractor, I'd hate to see y'all having to go in there and try to clean that ditch. That's too big of a ditch in a small area.
I think Pickering has
Get in there
came,
and clean later down the road.
I think Pickering and Bottom to Top have came back with a good solution and cheapest solution we're at now to move forward, to be honest. I know it's not cheap, but it's the cheapest solution they can do right now.
Gotcha. And we have reached back out to the funding party to see if we can get an increase due to the price changes over the time, because we've been working on this project since, do you know roughly?
It's been
Made
long
application
overdue.
September of '21.
21.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, Anthony, I appreciate it. Do you have anything else to add?
Not at all.
I just don't want to cut you off.
If y'all have any questions afterwards, Kenny can give you my email. I'll be happy to answer any questions y'all have.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Again, I'd like to reiterate my motion.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sitting in this chair. It has something to do with hearing.
I thought it, well, never mind, I won't go comment.
George isn't here to defend himself,
All
so
right.
I'll throw that little stone at him.
Anyhow,
Yes, sir.
I say it's a necessity, and we've gone that far, we need to continue it.
Okay, I have a motion and I have a second. Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Sorry, I'm about now. Okay. 18, 19. Okay, number 19, under, new business. This is what was added. This,
I've been watching it.
this is the contract that we have, with, Artesian Pyrotechnics. This is, the, excuse me, the fireworks show that will be done in conjunction with, the 4th of July parade and celebration on, July the 1st. What we've got is, MDA was gracious enough to donate $5,000 directly to the city. The remaining amount will be coming from private donations. But this is a contract that I need permission to sign, to enter into, so that we can get this all taken care of.
So moved.
Oh, sorry. Yes, sir.
Where is this gonna be held? What location?
Beside the pier right here, in the sand.
Okay.
They've come down and looked at the area.
Is that gonna be the county's area, or is that the
I believe
city's
that's
area?
our city area.
Okay,
So without you even saying it, I think we have some coordination issues that we need to discuss.
I think you're correct on that. I don't see us having a big problem with it, but we do need to get
We need to-
coordinated a little bit better.
Okay.
I
Gotcha.
think this is just for us to enter, and I'm
The
sure they're gonna be
contract,
reaching out to you.
you will be definitely included.
All right.
So, all right, any other? All right, if I could get a motion? Oh, sorry, yeah, there you go again. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, number 20, what was 20?
South Mitchell Road.
Motion for Harrison
Oh, this is just some housekeeping. Back when we started to work on the expansion of South Mitchell Road, the county did offer their help, but what Marlon Ladner needs is a resolution from the city requesting the assistance, and that's through labor and material of 350 tons of limestone to use in these ditches. So if I could get a motion on that?
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? We're gonna need a roll call. Patrick?
Yes.
Mikey?
Yes.
Timmy? Angie?
Yes.
Bernie? Aye. Okay, motion carries. Okay, moving on to departments. Under Mayor's office, I have just a couple updates, a couple meetings that went on this past week. We met with Steve Tweet, with Neil Schaefer, sorry, on the update for the railroad crossings. This was a grant that the city of Long Beach will be the first one to do. This will be upgrading our railroad crossing, with White Harbor, South Lang, Island View, Troutman, Girard. We omitted Jeff Davis Avenue because that is our only truck crossing at this time. Cleveland Avenue, Nicholson Avenue, Beach Park Drive, and Richards Avenue. What this is going to do is make these crossings more accessible for trucks. I know it will help our police department on their weekly call to direct traffic when a truck gets stopped. So the update on this will go out for bid in this coming fiscal year. And that's the update that we got. So that's good news, but it's not being done tomorrow. So that's just an FYI. Second one is we did have our meeting after Jeep and the Coast on discussions there. The numbers that were given were very positive. They had over 2,600 registered Jeeps. I don't have the exact number, but that was the number that was given to me. So very positive influx of sales tax money there. And then the last thing I have is work at our lift station here at the corner of Pineville and Railroad. It has begun. You will see that there is going to be work being done on the north side of Railroad Street. Just be prepared for construction signs where the road east and west will not be closed at this time, but there will be traffic delays due to flagmen out there with construction equipment. So those are the three things I have, just kind of a housekeeping issues there and updates. Moving on to personnel. With the police department, I have 2 resignations, 1 promotion, and 2 reassignments. Or if you guys would like to take them all. Okay. Under the fire department, I have 2 promotions, 1 new hire. Under the courts, I have 1 step increase, and under the library, I have a part-time resignation.
So moved. All the above.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. City Clerk, Revenue Expense Report, May 2023.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, second item is Budget Amendment FY 2023 for Public Works. This was the sale of scrap metal, and they would like that put back in their budget.
Motion.
Motion. So I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Fire Department.
Nothing beyond what we've already talked about.
Tired of talking. Thank you.
I say that, it looks like the plumbing is in the ground for our pour at Station 3. I did see that.
So, in speaking with Supervisor Ladner, he did compliment today working with you and making sure that, that it was very positive, and so I just wanted to pass that along.
Well, thank you.
So,
I also had some very positive splash from the fire department, Courtney, Splash Day or
Summer
whatever it
splash.
was called.
Oh, yeah, that went well.
Had 2 great, a great niece and great nephew. I had to listen to that whole story, so.
Oh, nice.
For an hour, so
Nice.
thank y'all. Very positive.
Got to listen to that.
I know.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Police Department? All right, thank you, sir. Engineering, we're going to, project closeout for Second Street sidewalks.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Discussion, just keep in mind, we got, not only did we get the sidewalks on the Second Street, we got some upgrades for drainage, so.
Very good.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Second one, we have ARPA. I'm not even going to try to say it, but MCWI grant funding. I'm going to bring this up, and I'll let David talk about it. But this is the money that we got back from our got back with our ARPA funds, thanks to the help of David Ball, Ms. Barb Reed, and Keeney. So we have that roughly $1 million that we've last meeting had David bring us some projects, and this is what he was able to come up with. So David, if you want to just kind of give us an overrun on that.
Sure.
Or rundown, excuse me.
Yeah, I'll be happy to. The 3 of the projects of the 4 that are selected there.
Sorry, David, can you make sure you speak into the mic so they can
I
hear you?
can.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. We've got 4 projects shown in that second table on your sheet. 3 of those come right off of those maps where we had worked with Public Works to identify various
critical projects that are needed for the water and sewer infrastructure systems. Each of these is related to water and sewer because that's the funds that you have been reimbursed, that you were basically kind of put back in your water and sewer fund. And so if you chose to spend more projects, these would be the ones we would recommend right now. The third one is the Water and Sewer Master Plan, which is something that when we were applying for ARPA and MCWI funding, that was actually something you guys had said, we would like to apply for that. And we found then that ARPA and MCWI would not fund that kind of a project application. If we were to go right now, this is why it's on this list right now, if we were to go and create this Water and Sewer Master Plan, it will be very helpful in the future for grant applications to have a Water and Sewer Master Plan. It helps you prioritize and identify your weaknesses in your system so that when we come to these kinds of funding opportunities in the future, we're not having to scramble to figure out what we should ask for and what we should do. You'd have a master plan that you could look to.
So, just for the public's aspect, it looks like Edmond Drive Circle, water main improvement. The second project is reroute Clower and Kirkendall's pump station. The third one is citywide pump station upgrades, which I feel like that's a pretty important one. Joe, how many pump stations do we have throughout the city?
We adopted 75 right now.
So we're working with 75 pump stations, and then the last one would be the Water and Sewer Master Plan, which I had to have David explain to me why we needed that 3 different times before I got it. But and just being honest, you know, when you look at it and you go, why do we need a master plan? Why can't we just use that money for a project, you know, boots on the ground project? But this helps us in the future get more projects done. So with that being said, I will entertain a motion. I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Seeing none. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. So far. And then the last one is FY 2025 Titlelands applications. I have a motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
That's for 500,000, correct?
I believe
Yes.
so, yes.
Funding
Yes,
request, okay.
that's the, yeah. All right, sorry, I can't hear you. That we can,
We need to vote on this.
yeah, let me take a motion in a second on this one, or do it.
We have a motion.
I have a motion second, sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carry. Any opposed? Motion carries, sorry. That's gonna be under our, the appeal, sorry. Public Works, sorry.
Have nothing at this time.
Well, thank you, sir. All right. I know I called you earlier, no issues. I mean, I'm sure we had issues with this rain, but no emergencies.
We had no emergencies, no major calls during this rain event, so it looks like we're doing pretty good.
Perfect, thank you.
Knock on wood.
Yep,
Knock on wood.
because I don't think it's done. Recreations.
Courtney and I met with the mayor last week. I'm going to give you an update about the wheelway, the one
Okay.
that's no
Perfect,
longer
thank
at the beach. Courtney and I met with the mayor last week, and he directed us to do a little research to see what we could do to replace the wheelway. I've met with Mr. Ladner and Mr. Loftus. We talked to him on the phone to see what options we have at the beach. He said that we could do pretty much what we wanted to do. I asked him about a concrete pad versus a portable one. I know that utility partners over H2O, they have to remove it every time we have a storm, and it got destroyed last year. So I'm looking at, would like to put something in there more permanent, maybe a concrete pad if we could. The only concerns Mr. Ladner had with that was in 24, in a year, they're gonna be doing a sand addition to the beach. Now, where the walkway is right now, it's not a big concern, I don't think. David could figure it out pretty easy. That area is flush with our parking lot. So it's not like they're gonna add a ton of sand in that area. So I'm sure David could get with, the other engineers that are gonna be in charge of the sand beach and figure out what the grade would be there. I don't think it would be a huge, difficult thing to do, but that would be David's call. As far as funding, Courtney and I haven't even talked about funding or looked for any funding yet, but that's pretty much what we're in the process of looking at. I don't think if we go back with something portable, it's gonna get destroyed again in another storm. So, we need to look at something more permanent that, our people in Long Beach can utilize, because I know it gets used quite a bit.
Talking about concrete or asphalt?
Concrete, I would go back with.
It may be something we can look at when we do the gateway in that area over there.
Okay.
I have to look and see.
Did we also lose the sails, the shade covers?
Those shade covers, they get tore up just about every windstorm. So we're gonna have to look at something a little bit more expensive, a little bit better material. But they get tore up just about every time we have, just like the storm we had today, they take a beating down there. So we try to remove them when we can, but sometimes you get caught off guard and it doesn't take much to tear them up.
Gotcha.
Also, at other areas along the beach, I know that down by, is it Troutman, where they have, you can drive a vehicle on this side of the harbor. Is there any way we can talk to Mr. Ladner also about just putting from the steps down to the beach, some type of ramp that could be also for people that may not be in wheelchairs but need a little ramp? Instead of having that one down there, is there a way to get more ramps on the beach?
So you're looking for more, no, but wheelchair access?
Wheelchair access, or just for people to be able to.
So on the east side, you're
Yes.
talking about where the new volleyball courts are?
Yeah, from there on down, but
Okay.
there's none of that on that side.
ADA ramp.
Yeah.
I'll talk to Mr. Ladner about it, or if you want to, you're a little bit
I
closer.
think you may be able, now since they've done where the volleyball courts are, possibly you could get from the parking lot by the pavilion. Now
You do the crossover.
You should
Where
be
that
able to-
ditch is now, I'd say ditch, the
Right.
drainage is now covered where you can walk.
There is an area where you can access it, yes.
Right, so.
But
On-
further down also.
Yes.
Something we can
Gotcha.
talk to him about.
Okay. And while you're saying that, I'm gonna take the opportunity and ask you, we have a handicap wheelchair that was donated back, correct?
Yes,
And that is available at the harbor? or-
yes.
So at the, just to make it, public, can it's accessible that somebody could come down and rent it? What's it take to, or use it?
Call us, whoever's on duty, don't cost nothing, just, come down and we just get a copy of their license or they leave the license with us. And then they can go and do it and bring it back and everything gets returned. There's no charge whatsoever.
Perfect.
Just give us a call at the harbor on the harbor phone and whoever's on duty can deal with it.
Okay, so to repeat what you just said, is we do have we have a handicap beach wheelchair or a beach accessible wheelchair
Yes,
that
sir.
can be used at no charge with, but you have to contact the harbor master's office to arrange rental or usage, excuse me. Perfect. Thank you. Bob, anything else?
No, we're good, thank you.
I appreciate it, sir. All right, building office.
We're good.
Oh, good, all right. Community affairs.
You skipped one. Oh, no, you didn't. Yeah, it's me.
I did. I skipped Harry. I apologize. Harry, do you have anything else for us from the harbor?
I finally got the 2 cameras on the west side, one facing towards Steve Marine and the other one up and working. Had a couple of glitches with it today, but they came back online, but I'll get
Working through it.
Probably nothing, probably due to the storm, whatever, but other than that, we're good.
Perfect, thank you, sir.
Okay.
Community affairs?
Yes. We have our Long Beach 4th of July Jubilee coming up, so I just wanted to go over some time frames for everybody. It's on Saturday, July 1st The festival is going to be at the Town Green from 10 to 4 p.m., 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The parade will roll down Jeff Davis at 1 p.m. The concert at the Town Green will start at 6 p.m., and then the fireworks will be shot off at the beach at 8 p.m. And that's it.
Awesome. Thank you and Sawyer for the work on this. This is going to be
Absolutely.
something good. This is a new event, first year that Courtney and Sawyer Walters have been working on, and this will be a new exciting point for us. So, and it's gotten some attention already. So, all right, moving on, derelict properties. I don't have any. Mr. City Attorney.
No, sir, nothing.
All righty, sir. Now, I have one note. Could I get a motion to recess until July 5th due to the holiday?
Motion.
Motion and second. Any comments?
So our next meeting will be July 5th.
July 5th. Wednesday, July 5th. All in favor? Any opposed? And we're adjourned.